All right. Good morning, everybody. I wanted to spend a few minutes and talk about our severe weather threat that we have for today, Wednesday, June 10th, 2020, and I'm recording this at 10:07 a.m. So the first thing I want to talk about is the humidity. Yes, it's very warm and it's very humid. Current temperature is 81 degrees, and this is at 10 o'clock in the morning. So, I mean, this is something that you would find very, very common in Oklahoma and Kansas, temperatures being this warm in the morning. It's also breezy, though, so that's a good thing. Winds are out of the south at 16, gusting to 21. But, man, the dew point, 71 degrees. Yeah, that means it is humid, it is muggy, and that is setting the stage for what could be a very, very active severe weather day here in Ohio. And again, the severe weather threat that we have today is something you find very, very common. Excuse me. Something that you would find very, very common in Oklahoma, Kansas, Texas, even up into Iowa. Okay, so we're talking, this is a pretty big deal here today. So I'm going to switch my computer screen. Now, obviously, you're not seeing my computer screen because I am talking you through this. And what we have is, now, we have an enhanced risk of severe weather for near the entire state of Ohio except the very, very southeastern tip and the very, very eastern tip. So if you drew a line basically down Highway 7 from Ashtabula down towards Steubenville and down towards Marietta in Washington County, that is where there is a slight risk of severe weather in effect, which is a level 2 out of 5. Slight risk means it means that storms will be scattered. Okay, they'll be scattered, not widespread, but scattered severe storms are possible in the slight risk. Now, once you get into the enhanced risk, which is a level 3 out of 5, so a little bit higher up on the scale, this means that numerous scattered severe thunderstorms are likely and a little bit more widespread as well. Now, in terms of the moderate risk, which is a level 4 out of 5, which is, again, very, very rare, especially in this part of the country. This is in effect for Sandusky, Port Clinton, over towards Toledo, down to Findlay, Lima, Wapakoneta, into extreme northeastern Indiana, up in the Angola, Indiana area, which is literally near the Ohio-Indiana border, and for a good chunk of Michigan as well, Jackson, Detroit, Lansing, maybe even over as far west as Grand Rapids. Okay, that's where the moderate risk is in effect today. And in this zone, the moderate risk means that widespread severe thunderstorms are likely. Okay, so we're getting into that really high category. Now, the Storm Prediction Center has already put out a mesoscale discussion, and a mesoscale discussion by the Storm Prediction Center based out of Norman, Oklahoma. This means that severe thunderstorms will be forming in a certain area, and if the Storm Prediction Center feels that the storms will be strong enough in this area, they will issue a mesoscale discussion saying, hey, here's what the atmosphere is doing. You know, the joules per kilogram are, 2,000-3,000, which is very, very high, and that these storms will just build and explode and race off to the east and to the northeast. And with that said, northern Indiana, southwestern Michigan, into basically right to the into the Illinois border, or near the Gary, Indiana area, they're in a great chance, a 80% chance of a severe thunderstorm watch. Now, in a severe thunderstorm watch, this means that severe thunderstorms are possible in the next 2 to 6 hours, meaning damaging winds, large hail, and maybe even tornadoes. Now, damaging wind gusts appear likely with those storms as well. And this video is going to be a little bit longer than 5 minutes, but I definitely wanted to talk you through everything here as quick as possible. So, As I said, the enhanced risk basically ends at the Interstate 77 corridor. This will be from Cleveland down through Akron, Canton, down towards Dover / New Philadelphia, including Columbus, along the I-70 corridor, and then westward. And the enhanced risk goes pretty near down into the Cincinnati metro area. So this could be a very, very busy day. Now, with all of that said, I do want to point out where the moderate risk is in effect, and it's in effect, again, as I said, along the Interstate 75 corridor from Sandusky westward. Now, Sandusky is in the viewing area, okay? So we're not trying to, we're not trying to what's the word I'm looking for? We're not trying to leave anybody out. We're just saying where the best threat of severe weather is today, and that is in effect over towards the Toledo, Findlay, Lima, Wapakoneta, and Sandusky area. So if you're traveling that way later today, especially along Interstate 75, let's say you're heading on I-75 north out of Cincinnati or Dayton, heading towards Michigan this afternoon, I personally would not recommend travel. Maybe you're traveling eastbound from Illinois, western Indiana, along the turnpike along I-80 / I-90. I would not recommend doing that either. Maybe you're traveling westward from Pennsylvania. You might be heading to Indiana today, and you're driving along the turnpike. I would not recommend doing that either. Maybe you're driving south from the extreme northern tip of Michigan along I-75. I would not recommend that either. So, now with that said, the hail threat for the whole state of Ohio is 15%. Okay, so this is low, but it's not zero. So a 15% hail risk, this basically means that we could see some nickels, dimes, quarters, maybe even ping pong ball size. I don't see anything larger than ping pong sized hail. So, but again, nickels, dimes, quarters, that can still produce some damage, right? That can still put dents in your car or your SUV or whatever. It still can damage your roof. So definitely pay attention to that. Now, the biggest issue here today is going to be the wind. Okay. Now, in that line, in that area I talked about a few minutes ago from Sandusky and points westward, this is going to be the zone to where we are going to see destructive winds. Now, in this zone, they are in a 45% hatched area, which 45% is the third highest category on the Legend map. So this is pretty serious business when you get to be talking about these numbers. Winds, we're talking in excess of 70 to 80 mile an hour plus, okay? Now, 70 to 80 miles an hour, this is going to bring down trees, power lines, cause widespread power outages, and the speed of these winds is going to be strong enough that to be equivalent to an EF1 tornado. Okay, so this isn't something to mess around with by any stretch. So please find a way to get warnings if you're going to be out and about today and tonight. Okay, now if you don't have a cell phone, you want to take a battery-operated weather radio with you to receive alerts. If you do have a phone, a tablet of some sort, maybe even a laptop, I would highly recommend downloading either the Channel 19 out of Cleveland, Ohio weather app. Fantastic. It'll pinpoint your location, track you wherever you go. Also, the News 9 weather app out of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. News 9, man, it's a fantastic app. It will give you it will track your location and give you severe thunderstorm watch alerts, tornado watch alerts, severe thunderstorm warnings, flood warnings, wind advisories, wind warnings, tornado warnings, the whole kit and caboodle. It will give you all that information. So I highly recommend doing that. So to keep this video under 10 minutes, now the I-77 corridor and points west are in a 5% tornado risk today. Okay, so what this means is that basically Canton and points west are in the 5% risk. It's not zero. Okay, because the winds are going to be very, very strong near the surface. So these these supercells that form out ahead of the squall line that's expected, these are going to be capable of producing brief spin-offs. We're talking EF zeros, maybe EF ones. I don't think it's going to be anything bigger than that. So the bottom line is, please stay weather alert today. Follow the Storm Prediction Center on Twitter. You can find them at NWS_SPC. You can find all the latest mesoscale discussions, watches, warnings, the whole thing right there in the palm of your hand, whether it's a cell phone or a tablet. So please stay weather alert today, and I will keep an eye on this and let you know if anything happens in terms of tornado watches, tornado warnings, anything. I will definitely keep you updated. So the bottom line is, stay weather aware and stay advised.